All employees listed in Engage belong to a department, so you must have at least one department in your organization structure. The first department will be named after your company name when your company account is created. You can choose to keep this or rename it. The org structure comes into play in a few places in Engage. You can use departments to segment your data on the dashboard and in reports. Very importantly, it also allows you to manage data access among managers. For advanced users, there are additional options to customize settings, such as policy messages if different business areas operate under different rules. Let's start with a new company with just one department listed. I want to set up a regional structure, so I'm going to rename this department as the South Region. I click on the name and a bunch of options appear on the right. Tutorial 25 talks more about these settings. For now, I'll just change the name and scroll down to the bottom to save the change. I also want to add other regions to the top of my org tree, so I'm going to add them as main departments here on the left. I'm adding West, East and North. As you can see, all these main departments appear at the same level as South. Next, I need to add sub-departments for each region. In Engage, all departments must have a unique name. For example, I can't add operations under each area because I can only use that name once. If the business structure is mirrored across the areas, then I can set up the duplicate names by adding a cost code or ID in the name. In my example, I'm using the area name because that's easier to read in the reports than codes and numbers. I can add as many layers of hierarchy as needed. As an example, under Operations, I might have production lines 1, 2 and 3. Under the production lines, I can add an early shift, day shift and a night shift. Another way to use the org structure is to add data separation by creating groups for managers, supervisors and operatives. That way I can make sure that all the supervisors can access the operatives' data but can't see each other's absence records. Alternatively, I could use group permissions to apply access permissions that are based on the employee roles. Watch Tutorial 40 to learn more about that. The org structure can also be set up and managed via data uploads. This can be helpful if you have a lot of departments. Tutorial 2 explains data uploads in more detail. It's useful to know that you can reorganize your org tree easily using data uploads. For example, if you accidentally create a department in the wrong place in the tree, you can move it to the correct place by giving it a new parent name in an upload. If you no longer need a department, it can be retired. Remember that you can't reuse a department name that has previously been used by an old department. If you are restructuring, it's better to move the departments rather than retiring and recreating them. Your account manager at Honeydew can help with complex company restructure projects.